Welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode number 124 of Fraternity Foodie. I am your host, Mike Pyle, CEO of Greek University. We call these episodes Fraternity Foodie because there is nothing like great food to bring people together. Today, we have with us Elizabeth Pyle. I have to tell you about Elizabeth. I'm so blown away by all of the amazing things that she's doing for college students. Her expertise is empowering college students to be successful. She created a unique and individualized, research-based, results-oriented college success plan system, which is helping college students across the country to stay on track and perform to the best of their ability. Students remain accountable by focusing on executive function skills, such as time, material, task, and resource management. Their system is very straightforward. It is realistic and it is successful. They have weekly check-ins via Skype. They teach life skills and strategies that increase confidence and decrease anxiety. What the students are saying is that they help them make their lives less stressful, and overall their grades start to improve. And what the parents like is that they are checking in consistently with their students and providing structure. I can't wait to jump into this. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Michael, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to talk with you today. And I'm so glad that we're working with this awesome age group of college students.
Oh, you and me both. This is my favorite age group to work with. And anytime we're talking about scholarships or academics, as you know, with fraternities and sororities, we are completely aligned. So I think the services that you provide, I think the services that Greek University provides, these are complementary things. I mean, you know, the fraternity and sorority system, we're all about academics and scholarship at the end of the day. I mean, that's really what we were founded upon.
Yes, and how we both bring so much to a student's life and make it well balanced and make the most of their 4 years on campus.
100%. I am all in favor of that. And so are my children who are going to be on a college campus very, very soon. So, you know, you have a lot to teach them. Let's give a little bit of background, I think is important, because you chose Vanderbilt University right here in Nashville, Tennessee for your undergraduate experience. Tell our audience, why did you choose Vanderbilt?
Well, growing up just outside of New York City, I applied to all kind of smaller Northeastern schools, and that's where everyone from my high school would go. And then I said, oh, I'm going to apply to Vanderbilt. And when I got in, I just decided, you know what, try something different, go to the South. And it was the first time I was ever called a Yankee. And I was like, really? Okay. But it was a great 4 years. I loved it. Vanderbilt was such a good education, and I felt really prepared for life afterwards. So I'm glad I went there.
Yeah, I love it. And, you know, I love the Nashville area. I think it's an incredible city, but I didn't discover it until I was much older. And I grew up in Rockland County, New York, a half hour north of New York City. And so for me, making that jump, I feel like would have been, you know, culture shock for me when I was in college at a younger age. So I had an opportunity to really kind of be the New Yorker and spend a lot of time, you know, at the University of Buffalo. And then I spent some time on Long Island. And so really to kind of develop that New Yorker in me, you know, being a Yankee is certainly something that I identify with. But now Nashville is home. And now, you know, I love the South and I would never go back. You know, the weather here is just incredible in Nashville. As you know, the people are so friendly here in the South and specifically in the Nashville area. And we just have so many people that are moving here from New York, from California, from all of these different places. And it's just provided just an incredible community of people that really look out for each other, and they really look out for their children, right? And making sure that they get the right education and that they're safe. These are all things that are important to us.
Yes, and such a vibrant community.
Oh my God, yes.
And well educated and has so much culture to add, and great airport right there. Yeah, has a lot of things going for it.
A lot of things going for it. And you know, you're also a proud member of Pi Beta Phi sorority. So what made Pi Phi the best place for you?
I am such a proponent of the Greek system. I feel like it has so much to offer, and our Pi Beta Phis were just all just true rock stars at school. We had really good grades. We had a very vibrant social life. There were so many volunteer opportunities, which I loved. I also loved being part of a community that was smaller on a bigger campus.
Mhm.
And so we got to know the girls from all different grades all the way through. And I felt like the Pi Phi house just made it super easy and welcoming and nurturing in a really positive way, yet creating independence as well. So I also appreciated all the leadership opportunities that our sorority brought to all of us. And so, like anything in life, Michael, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So I felt like Pi Phi gave us a lot of opportunities and I was really into it. So I would definitely consider myself a very active member all 4 years. But what I came out with is more confidence, a good experience with, leading other girls my age, getting more involved in the community because we had those volunteer opportunities. And we encourage Greek life also for our college success plan students because it brings so much enrichment to the college experience for the right, person. So,
Yeah.
and also it's great, as you know, with all of your involvement, it's great for networking after college. And when I moved to Chicago, actually after Nashville, it was a great starting place because there was an active alumni group here. So I got, it eased me into moving into the Midwest.
I'm so glad that you're such a proponent of the Greek system. I think it's really important because a lot of the skills that you talk about, the leadership skills, the communication skills, the motivation skills, these are all things that I got out of the fraternity experience that there is no school, there's no area to learn that on a college campus unless you're involved with an organization like Pi Phi or,
Mhm.
name your fraternity or sorority. And I feel like students get a huge advantage by being in an organization like that while they're still in college to develop those skills. So that way, when they enter the workforce, they have those skills to draw upon. And if you don't have those skills, you got to learn them on the job and it becomes difficult at times. So I feel like it gives college graduates, a certain leg up over the competition, if that makes sense.
And the experience and the exposure you
Yeah,
get.
absolutely.
So leading a group of girls the first time you do that, maybe you do an average job, but you're easing into it, but at least you're exposed to it.
Right.
So next time you do that or reach out to someone in the community to set something up, these are all experiences that, after we graduate from college do give you a leg up for sure. And also what you said about the motivating factor,
Mhm.
that is so true because after my first semester, and I realized, oh, how important the grades were and all that. I'm like, okay, I need to keep my GPA as high as possible because I want to be able to vote for things. I want to be able to attend the social events and, be in good standing. And our sorority prided themselves on keeping that GPA high. So it was very motivating because I didn't want to let my sorority sisters down either. So,
Right.
you know, that was a really positive thing and helped me learn those good life skills that we're using now.
I agree completely. And you mentioned the network too, so important. I mean, let's talk about a huge network of sisters at Pi Phi. I mean, you can really draw upon that, which is fantastic. So tell us about your company. You're the president of College Success Plan. Tell us, how did this company come about?
So it's really cool. Since college, I have always wanted to own my own company.
Mhm.
And so from the beginning, I was reading so many books, but it took me 4 children and a wonderful husband to get me to where I am today. In that about 15 years ago, I started a tutoring company in our community that really prides itself on education. So it was a K through 12 tutoring company I had with a partner, and it was very successful. We helped a lot of families, but I did notice that some students in our well-educated community from college were coming home. And I was thinking, why are they coming home? Like, our community really nurtures, good learners, and started doing a lot more research and got so enthralled with this age group and the fact that I could help so many college students stay in school and have a better experience, that I sold that half of my company for the K through 12 tutoring to my partner, rolled that into College Success Plan. So I started working on that solely 6 years ago, but I had been also working on it in conjunction with tutoring for 10 years before that. So
Got it.
Yes. And so it's so rewarding now to be able to help so many families and students
Mm.
really have a very positive college experience.
I love it. That's awesome. So, what advice do you have for college students right now to survive and thrive now that so many of their classes are really these virtual classrooms that they're having on Zoom? What advice do you have for them?
I know it's challenging for everyone, so of all ages. And we really are encouraging students to keep a routine and add structure to your life. Because now that the students necessarily don't have to go to class, like get up at a certain time and go someplace, their routines have gotten so off. And I think that's probably for a lot of adults as well. So keeping a routine where you know what your day is going to look like. We always encourage students the night before to plan out what your day is going to look like. We actually plan it out for the week, but in particular, look at it the night before. This is what needs to happen tomorrow, and this is what's going to happen. So reaching out to professors, using office hours, that's such an easy thing for students to do and just takes a few minutes, but makes a really big difference. So we encourage that. Creating study groups within your classes. Always have a friend in one of your classes, but create study groups because they need the socialization. And even if the study groups are on Zoom. And the last thing that we really focus on is goals for the semester. Where do you want to be at the end of the semester? And then each week working on one thing that you can do this week to get you to your goal at the end of the semester. And those are things we talk about with students every week also. So it increases their accountability and keeps them on track.
That's perfect. That's really
Yes.
good. Now, one of the things that I see very often with college students where they struggle, it seems to be time management. That seems to be an issue and that's kind of recurring. So, what advice do you have for students to be able to study efficiently and also plan their free time as well?
We are huge proponents of a block schedule. And so we like to think of like a 9 to 5 type of day. We know that's not totally realistic with all students. Sometimes it's 10 to 7, something like that.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's 12 to 9. So, but having that block schedule that gives you some routine and structure to your day, but also when students see their block schedule, they can see, oh, I actually do have free time, here and there. And so it takes stress away for them.
Mhm.
Or if they need to do some extra things, they can just plug it in, right before dinner, for instance. But blocking out that time is really good. Um, and they're creating the routine, of course.
Mhm.
So
I love it. That's really good. Now, my son, just as I'll give you him as an example. Luckily, he's a sophomore in high school, so he has a little bit of time here. But my son has absolutely no clue what he wants to major in, and I know that there are even freshmen in college that still are struggling with this decision on what they need to major in. So, what advice do you have for students that are stuck in making this important decision?
So definitely taking advantage of any volunteer opportunities. And I said, like, our sorority really provided that, but
Mhm.
also even in high school, start volunteering and looking for things that you might be interested in. I think that's a really good place to start. We always encourage our students that are in college also to join clubs of something they might be interested in. You don't have to sign up for the whole year, but at least go to that first meeting to see, oh, what is this all about? Also talking to professors. So we had one student at the University of Texas just this year. He's in engineering. He's really interested in real estate also, but he's in the engineering school. And so we suggested that he reach out to his urban studies professor and, just kind of open the door with asking some questions about real estate. Well, it led to, it's a wonderful friendship, great ideas. And the student realized he never would have known that he could get a real estate certificate through his university next summer. So that's what he's pursuing. So I feel like professors have so much to offer and they love helping students. So if you just have like a interest in something, it's certainly worth, um, starting that conversation at least.
Great advice.
Yes, and we also have a compass program
Mhm.
through our company, and it's an inventory. So it works on, um, talks about values that students have, how they want to spend their time, how long they want to be in school. Because some degrees, like a law degree, that's another, 3 years after school. Is that what you want to do? And their strengths and weaknesses and their interests. So we put that into a report, and then we can narrow that down to 5 possible majors and then basically 1 major, but we explore all of the things. And we find that students that know what they want to do are definitely more invested in their education and focused. And sometimes with those gen ed classes that students don't want to take, they're like, okay, I just need to get through this because I know what my end goal is going to be. So, thinking about those things at any age is really good.
That sounds like a great tool. I might need to sign my son up for that inventory that you're talking about. And then we'll update all of our listeners in terms of where my son falls and what's a good major for him. Like, that's a product that I think I could use right now. I think
That's a
awesome.
great idea. And it's super interesting.
Yeah, I might need to take you up on that and see how he does on that particular assessment. I think that's really good. And, I go onto your website and I see that you offer several different packages for college students. So can you explain what somebody would get with the college success plan?
So everything we do is individualized.
Okay.
So we meet the student where they are, work on their strengths and weaknesses. We have weekly meetings, so it's the same day and time every week. So of course that fits right into the structure and routine that I've been talking about. We come up with an individual week, 1 to 5. And if it's a 3, we're talking about all of their upcoming assignments for sure, what they have. We do grade trackers with the students, so the parents and the students know exactly where they stand every week, because some colleges aren't great about updating all their grades. So we stay on top of that, and we teach lifelong skills to help them be efficient, manage their time, and definitely become more independent, because that is our goal, is ultimately, a clear path to independence. And obviously implementing all of these things leads to the lower stress because they know what's coming up, and increased accountability and more confidence, and of course, better grades.
Right. Okay. Well, that
Yes.
makes a lot of sense. I also saw on the website you have a summer program for college students. So tell us what your students would get there.
I love our summer program. It helps, especially with the incoming freshmen, college freshmen, make that transition, because there's a lot of different things that the students are thinking about before going to school. So we help control everything that we can control before they go to school. We help with all the orientation, registration of classes, setting up a bank account. So by the time they get to school, they can think about, who am I going to eat lunch with? How am I going to meet friends on my dorm? Where am I going to do my laundry? Like all those things that they have to deal with, we help them be as prepared as possible. So when they step foot on campus, they're feeling confident and everything's in order.
Got it. Okay, very good. Now, I have to ask a very basic question because, we have a lot of university administrators and other people that listen to this podcast. And, the colleges are going to say, well, we offer resources in this area of, scholarship and academics. So if that's true, if the colleges already offer the resources, then why should we need college success plan?
So we are very hands-on, especially in the beginning. So helping the students right off the bat get situated at school and make that transition, like I said, but we're super individualized and we're consistent. So I do think some schools offer resources, but it's not always meeting with the same person. Those offices tend to be rather transient with, employees coming and going and maybe working in different parts of the university as well. So we're consistent and we work with a student for the whole time they're with us, whether it's 1 semester or 3 years. So parents like it because they don't have to worry about their students, and they can always reach out to us if they're ever concerned about anything. And so, and a lot of campuses offer resources, like the University of Wisconsin. It's really cool. In their freshman dorms, they have tutoring, like in the basement, a couple times a week for the basic freshman classes. But we've talked to freshmen and they don't even know that that's there in their building. So, if they're working with us, we would know how to guide them to use the campus resources. And then maybe they just need to use us for a semester or two, and then they're on their own because they know how to navigate everything on campus. So, yeah, so that's
Got
where
it.
we are.
Okay. And so
Yes.
the other question is, does it matter when we start College Success Plan? Do we have to start freshman year? Does it matter?
We work with students at all ages in college,
Okay.
and we love getting the incoming freshmen because we can make sure they're going to start with really strong habits and be efficient and get involved in things and make friends.
Mhm.
So we love getting the incoming freshmen, but we have students of all grades. We have a lot of seniors this year, ironically, and that's because the parents want to make sure that they finish all their classes, finish strong, feel confident. So when they go out into the job search, they have all those necessary skills.
Yeah, I could see where it would be helpful to get them to start with their plan freshman year, because that's really when their habits are forming while they're up at college. So that would be helpful to get those good habits started earlier rather than later when it's an emergency, right?
Right. And working with us, you drop less classes.
Right.
So we get those credits, going strong. And we like to start, obviously with a higher GPA. So
Right.
that, because that sets you up for the next 4 years
Got it.
for
All right.
sure.
That's
Yes.
really helpful. I love that. I think that's really good. Now, you know that we love good food here at Fraternity Foodie. And I know that you have some amazing restaurants in the Chicago area where you're based out of. And so I want to know, what is your favorite restaurant and what do you usually order there?
It's so funny that you asked this because over Christmas, when all the college students were coming home, like to our community and even our own children, they all want to go to Portillo's, which is a chain restaurant, but it's opening in different states now. So Portillo's is huge. That's like literally students from the airport want to go straight to Portillo's when they come home from school. And so I can tell you what all my boys get. They'll want a big beef dipped with a cake shake, which is about 1,500 calories just for the cake shake, and fries.
Oh my God.
So yeah, everyone loves that. And that's the first stop. So I highly recommend that to Portillo's.
It sounds delicious, but it sounds like there's a lot of calories in there, and I'm going to have to hit the gym right after I stop at Portillo's. I'm going to the gym on my way back home.
I know, but they love it and it just makes them feel good. So it's a feel good food.
I love it. That is really good. All
Hmm.
right. So if
Yes.
we have college students that are listening and they want to contact you, they want to learn more about your services, maybe they want to follow you on social media, where should they go to get more information about College Success Plan?
Well, thank you so much for asking. So we have a really active, vibrant website. It is called collegesuccessplan.com, and all our links to social media are on there. We offer some free worksheet type of things, ideas on motivation, because that's a really big issue right now with the online learning. And we have a very informative newsletter that comes out once or twice a month and hits on topics that students are dealing with right now, what's happening at school, and also gives parents a really good insight of what students are dealing with at school for, better and worse. So hopefully we're always optimistic and looking on the bright side. So, and all about positive communication. So
I love it. All right. So collegesuccessplan.com. That is the place for you to go to get more resources, get connected with Elizabeth and her team. This was so much fun. And I have to tell you, it's got to be really helpful. It's a great resource for our listeners. So if our listeners, if you like this and you think that collegesuccessplan.com has some great resources, make sure you like this video, make sure you share it with other students, perhaps in your fraternity, in your sorority, anybody on a college campus that is interested in academics and scholarship and, putting together a plan so that way they reach their goals. I think Elizabeth and her team can certainly help you out. So please like it and share it. And thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to some future partnerships. And I just think what you're doing is really important. I think from a fraternity and sorority standpoint, this is exactly aligned on what we should be focusing on.
Michael, thank you. Such a pleasure. And I'm so glad we could collaborate on this and look forward to doing more together. Thank you.
That sounds great, Elizabeth. All right. And thank you to our listeners. We hope to see you on another episode of Fraternity Foodie. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.